Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about. Have your cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
All right, welcome to another episode of Unscripted. Again, you guys can find us on Unscripted under Twitter, and you can also go to Facebook, find us there as well, and under Unscripted, and then also you find us on YouTube under Unscripted. Just put the date next to Unscripted of whatever show you want to watch, and it will always pop up there for you. What is up, my brother? Babyface Logan, man. How you doing, brother?
Jay, I can't lie to you, man. I'm a little sad today on our show on Tuesday because, as you know, my undefeated streak in fantasy football has now come to an end. I went 10 straight weeks, but I ran into a human buzzsaw known as Travis Kelce, who put up 35 points. And that was what got me in, man. That was a tough one, but hey, I'm still in first. I'm feeling good, and I'm ready to roll for tonight, brother.
Yeah, I was about to say, man. When you're 10-1, it's kind of hard to be completely upset. I don't know how you get to that level, but I will say this: your boy started out pretty rough. I started out 0-3. Okay, I was down there right above Damien at one point when Frankie said, "Hey Jay, you realize you're sitting above Damien right now at 19." I said, "Yeah, I know, man. I'm 0-3, and I'm hurt." I said, I got to make a few tweaks left, right, up, down. And then a few moves happened, and voila. I went from 0-3 to 6-5. I went from 19th at 0-3 to 6-5. And I believe I'm either number 6 or the number 7 spot. Either way, I'm in the playoffs, damn it.
You are good to go. Hey, like you said, it don't matter who wins it. As long as someone on Unscripted wins, we all win.
Hey, we got to rep, damn it. We got to rep. And then again, hey, it is what it is, right? And then I don't know, I got kicked out, but hey, we got our boy Gonzo coming in. Gonzo's doing pretty well. He won by literally 0.58. Literally, that's how close Gonzo's win was, 0.58. But hey, a dub is a dub, and he's up there in the playoff bracket.
There you go.
What's up, Gonzo?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, bro? Doing good.
Cold here.
Extremely well.
Cold,
yeah,
and I'm hurt,
bet
man.
so.
My body don't deal with this cold weather no more.
Yeah, listen. Hey, I feel you. I'm right there with you, man. Mine doesn't need. Well, once you start getting that arthritis and you start getting those bones cracking, yeah, it never bodes well. I just want to say to all of us how good it feels to be sitting in the standings and looking down on the Wonder Twins. Just saying, man. When I look down and see the Wonder Twins, my life just feels a little bit brighter.
I think I'm what? Am I in 6th again?
No, I think you're. Oh yeah, you might be in 6th. I know I'm in 7th. I believe you might be in 6th. Hold on, let me get
Actually, Gonzo, you're in 5th right now.
I'm in 5th. Okay, so I moved back up.
Chris, you're in 5th. Jay, you're
number 5.
Hey, fellas, we got, I think, 3 or 4 members of our team on there. We got Pride coming in at 8th place, sneaking in. The McLovins at 7. We got Big Shot Rob Strike there at 6. Gonzo at 5. And I'm up there at number 1. So we got a good bit of the playoffs in there with our squad. So we're looking good.
The amazing thing was I kind of thought it's a 20-team league. Probably, the bottom 10 will get burnt out on it because they probably don't have the players to necessarily crack in the top. But surprisingly, we are actually competitive all the way down to around 14 or 15. Position. So they're still battling. Hey, they're battling. Hey, you saw where I battled from, and they're battling as well. So keep battling because, hey, you never know. You're only one injury away if you got the backup guy from getting back into first place. It's true. It happens.
And Jay, now we are on the watch to see if Damian Hernandez can do what the Detroit Lions did back in 2008, like he says right now. And he is 0-11. Can he go 0-18? I believe so.
And like I said earlier, Damian, there's no excuse. I was there at number
9. You can make trades. What you mean? You can make trades. You can go in free agency. You don't even got a quarterback right now.
Damn it.
That quarterback spot is empty. I just looked at your squad, Damian. You probably got your password.
Hey, Damian, tanking don't help you in fantasy.
There's no points there for last place, legitimately. But, hey, real quick, since we're kind of speaking about the Panthers a little bit, hitting around it at least. So now they're going back to Darnold. So now, week 12, they're going to feature Sam Darnold as the Panthers quarterback. For the love of God. I get it. Okay, maybe you lost the last game, but at what point do you say to yourself, I got to build consistency? I can't just keep swapping quarterbacks out every other game. At some point, I got to build around somebody or show confidence in somebody. Does anybody see anything crazy about that? Or is it just
Jay, what is this, like the second or third straight year that they've been swapping quarterbacks in and out like changing clothes? I mean, you had last year with Cam Newton, P.J. Walker, and Sam Darnold. Now you got Baker Mayfield throwing into the – what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like, that is horrible development, whatever it is. It's a just snowball of bad just everything in Carolina. They can't get nothing right.
No, absolutely, and that's just it. It just seems like with the Panthers. I mean, at least with the Colts, they at least they're staying somewhat consistent, right? I mean, there was a brief period when Wright kind of ventured, like you said, over, but I think Jeff Saturday came back and said, nope, go back to the veteran. And I think even though they didn't get the win against the Eagles, it did show that, hey, they can be competitive, at times. So, and I think they just have to build on that. Somebody's got to take the lead, and they got to build around somebody. The more you keep doing this back and forth, that to me signals tanking. What do you think?
Well, I think some of Carolina's problem this year was they decided they were going to stick with P.J. Walker for the rest of the season. He gets hurt, they go with Baker. And Baker's been such a big disappointment for him this year that now they're going back to Darnold because Walker's still hurt.
Right.
And a lot of people think Baker's going to get another starting job. Who's going to bring Baker in as a starter? That's what I want to know. I don't see nobody taking another chance on him as a starter after
I don't see anywhere.
Carolina.
If you can't start in Carolina, I don't know where else you could start,
I think Baker's at a point now where if he does get released by the Panthers or whatever, if they can find a trade or whatever, he's at a point now where his next contract is going to be vet minimum or performance-based. I would imagine it'd be probably more performance-based, but hey, he's not getting those nice contracts. He's going to have to start doing some earning, and I don't know if he can. And the Panthers surely aren't doing him any favors. What time to be alive? When they're bringing in Sam damn Darnold, you just got to believe that's a signal that your career is just over.
Bringing them back from the dead.
God, man. If that's not a signal, I don't know what is. All right, we're going to move on. Speaking of moving on, now Cowboys, like I said, they got that statement win, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute too. OBJ tweets, they went crazy today with some googly eyes. Clearly, that was after the Cowboys. Clearly, it was in direction of the Cowboys. Michael Parsons, a few of the guys that they have had conversations with OBJ, and that if the feel goods like they're trying to pursue him. So I would not be surprised if obviously he lands with the Cowboys. Does anybody see that being a surprise, or do you? Because I think he said it's down between him and the Giants. Do the Giants at this point even have a chance to get him?
I've always said, Jay, since he became a free agent, he would be a perfect fit in Green Bay. I mean, it's taken him 11 weeks to find at least a halfway decent receiver.
Right.
But, I mean, he wouldn't be a bad fit in Dallas, right? He's going to be kind of your decoy. In New York, he would be, a good option there too. Go back home, but I don't know, man. I just always thought he'd be a great fit for the Packers, and I don't know why they didn't sign, or the Ravens even too. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that they were just a little bit too worried about his injuries, and I mean, the season's almost over, and he still hasn't gotten signed yet. So we'll see if he does.
I think what ruined it for the Packers was the fact that, one, he wasn't healthy. Two, I think he wanted to wait to see who would be in contention to who he thought he would want to go to. And then by the time he's healthy now, and you look at the Packers, and they're like damn near, underneath the Bears at this point in the standings. I think it was all about timing, and it just never worked out for the Packers. They couldn't stay competitive long enough to try to persuade him. What a day in the world. All right, folks. Hey, look, last thing, and then we're going to get into the show. What NBA team, and there's quite a few teams out there, but just give me your team that you think should be looking at shaking up the lineup, maybe putting some new rotations out there to get their team back on track. The one that I picked out, honestly, was the Chicago Bulls, and hopefully by the time my rant is over with, Mike Hughes will not have unfriended me. We will find out. If you look at the current lineup, the way it's set up, it's Ayo Dosunmu, and I know I'm probably saying his name wrong, but and then you got starting guard Zach LaVine. Obviously, then you got the forward of DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and then you got your center of Vucevic. That's currently the way it's constructed. Clearly, it's constructed that way because had Ball been here healthy, Ayo would be on the bench, but that's just not the case right now. So. And we don't know when they're going to get Ball back, which is even crazier. So I don't know how much you can really, if you look at it, I don't know how much you can really shake it up too much. Again, they have not had the luxury of having Ball, but it's clear this lineup isn't working. When you look at their deficiency ratio of 107.2 points allowed per 100 possessions, that's the 62nd percentile in the league. So who can or what can be done to rectify this? Because currently they're sitting at the number 12 spot. They're 6-10, and they lost their last 4 straight to the point where they had to actually bench LaVine just to come back, only to lose it by 2 or 3. And LaVine was pissed off because he's like, how do you take somebody like me out of the game? I'm Zach LaVine, blah, blah. And I understand his viewpoints. Believe me, I do. But the minute they took him out of the game, they erased that deficit quick and in a hurry. So sometimes, Zach, maybe you just don't have it that night. And sometimes you just got to ride the pine. Go talk to your boy Westbrook. He'll tell you how to do it. And again, LaVine, Vucevic, DeRozan. I think these guys in this lineup, you got to keep in. You really do. They've earned their spots. And I think so. Who does that leave then? There's only 2 other guys on the starting 5 that you can mess with. And I think one of them is Vucevic, but I think, not Vucevic. I think one of those is Dosunmu. And I know I'm saying his name. I'm going to say Ayo. Ayo, he hasn't been really in the starting rotation when they're winning. Mostly come off the bench. So I think his defensiveness and his offensive distribution and playmaking for the Bulls is really kind of where they're lacking. And I think that's what Ball gives them. Ball gives them that passing. He gives them those playmaking assists, right? And I think as long as Ayo is there as a starter, I think that's really where it kind of hurts them. You can look at Williams, but Williams is a two-way guy. So he gives you the defense and the offense. So he should be safe. So really it comes down to the point guard position of the Bulls. And that's why I looked at Jordan Dragic, the 36-year-old. His three-point shooting right now is extremely well. I think he's shooting almost around 43, 44%, and he still can pass the ball pretty effectively. So it does give you a perimeter shooter, and he can distribute the ball. So I think the only thing you can do with this offense is just shake at the point guard position and go from there. So for that reason, I got the Bulls, and I think you take Ayo out, you put Dragic in, and you see what happens. Gonzo, you're up.
No, what am I supposed to talk about the Bulls?
No, just what team in the NBA in general, starting 5, could use a shakeup?
Could use a shakeup.
I just told you my lineup.
Let Logan go first.
Okay, that's fine. Logan.
All right. Yeah, currently kind of Jay, just looking at some teams who've kind of been not coming out the gates hot through 17, 18 games. I mean Minnesota, right? They're barely at
Yeah.
the playoffs right now, 9-8, just above 500.
Mhm.
Coming into the year, everyone was talking about the big guy duo with Gobert and Towns, and it ain't working so far. I mean, the results are right there in the standings. They're barely in the play-in. I mean, this is a team that a good bit of people thought they could be a really solid team. I mean, obviously, there's still a lot of time to figure it out and turn it around. But, I mean, just the defensive switches, sometimes they're not working. We know Gobert has some trouble on pick and rolls and whatnot. I mean, really, I think their starting lineup is all right, but their bench is kind of what's killing them. They don't have much of a bench unit, really. And that's going to kill you in the playoffs, Jay. You got to have at least a halfway decent to above average bench to go far in the playoffs. So I got to go Timberwolves on this one. I think that so far that the strategy ain't working so good right now. I said they got plenty of time to turn it around, but so far through about a little bit less than 20 games, I'm not seeing the results I would have thought that would have been happening from this team.
Yeah, because if you don't have a good productive bench, what are you going to do when those starters come out? Now you're what? Now you're not giving a point. So yeah, your bench, really, if you look at a team, it's almost like you got a 6-man rotation rather than a 5. You got to look at that bench as your 6th guy out there, because that 6th guy don't come in and do what he's supposed to do. Then what are the other starting people? So yeah, that bench is absolutely critical. That's why they got the damn 6th Man of the Year award. Gonzo.
Right.
I'm like, hey, there's plenty of teams out there. I can tell you, Denver, Sacramento,
I got one.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Go to Houston Rockets. You can pick them apart easy.
No, actually, I was going to say the Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks.
I don't think them bringing Murray over there to add with Trae Young has quite worked as well as they thought it was going to. That team did have a defensive identity. Now they're not playing much defense at all. But I think that the Hawks could use some shaking around. I think that it's been a little disappointing start for them. I know it's only been 3 weeks. But what about my Indiana Pacers? They've won like 9 of their last 11. They've been looking pretty good.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Pacers too, especially what's that one guy? Mathurin?
Yep.
Mathurin. Man, that guy's just playing. He's playing.
Hey, I remember on draft night, Gonzo was happy for him. He was real happy about that guy.
Man, he should be. Like I said, if you look at Mathurin the way he's playing right now, I'd be happy about him too. Honestly.
Oh yeah, he's going to be a Rookie of the Year candidate if he keeps it up for the whole season.
Oh, he could definitely get that. I mean, and that's some good company to go against when you consider Bancaro's out there. So that's some really good company if you can get that. If you can get that bad boy. All right, folks, we're going to get into this thing. Let's talk some college football for just a minute, if we can. Lots of close games in the top 10. I know Unscriptyed has definitely killed and I know so is the afternoon show. This whole college thing. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time so much on the recap, because I think the preview, which will be on Friday, is going to be 10 times even more interesting. But just to kind of give you a light rundown, right? Georgia, 16-6 over Kentucky, close game. Ohio over Maryland, 43-30, 2-possession win. Not too bad. Matter of fact, they probably had, out of all of them, probably the better.
Hey Jay, but that game was real close in the fourth quarter.
It was. And then you had Michigan at number 3 over Illinois, 19-17. Man, Michigan, come on now. But then you go to TCU Baylor, huh?
Blake Corum got hurt for Michigan, didn't play the second half.
Oh, we're coming all back to that. Because trust me, and that's because that's really where I'm curious about a couple of things. And when it comes to injured players, TCU barely got the win. Thank God for that field goal kicker, 29-28 in the last couple of seconds. Otherwise, that would have been a loss. USC, UCLA by 3. Again, another close game. And then you have, of course, a blowout by Tennessee, to the point where I think the Volunteers made Spencer Rattler look like a Heisman all by themselves, going 30-37 for 438 and 6 touchdowns. Really? And then you give up 16 yards to him via rushing. I mean, honestly, hey, that's a Heisman caliber game right there for Spencer Rattler against a team like Tennessee. Well, it's time to be alive. LSU, did blow out UAB 41-10. So out of the top 4, even through 6, I will tell you that LSU looked like the bigger stud than the other 4. Again, it is UAB, so let's not get too carried away. Is undefeated TCU, though? My question to you guys, we got a lot of questions. We're going to obviously talk about Corum and the injury that happened there. Obviously, the injury that happened to Hooker. We're going to talk about those guys here in just a second. My first question to you guys is, TCU is undefeated. We know that. I don't think they're a fraud because they have played ranked games. But again, it was a close game against Baylor. They won by what? 1 point, and literally at the last second. Can TCU survive and make it into the playoffs? Because we do know that LSU and Georgia are playing the SEC showdown. I think if Georgia wins, I think TCU is safe. I think if LSU wins, then I think LSU bumps out TCU, and I hope that doesn't happen. But what's you guys' opinion on that, Gonzo?
Pretty much agree with what you just said. Because the new college ranking just came out. TCU's 5th, or TCU's 4th, LSU's 5th. USC's at the 6th spot now. Top 4 stay the same, but
right.
If LSU was to beat Georgia, TCU is going to get bumped out because LSU would have the win over Georgia, and they beat Alabama as well.
Right.
Which I know Alabama's not a top ranked team, but they were still ranked at the time. I think TCU has a chance to get in there because I don't know if LSU is going to be able to beat Georgia, but I just don't know if TCU's defense is going to be able to hold up against a team like Georgia or maybe like Ohio State or Michigan. It's going to be interesting how that step up in competition, how that defense will be able to hold up after watching them play against Baylor over the weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Logan, and to kind of tack on or continue on what me and Gonzo were just saying, one of the things I love about the NFL is, hey, it goes by your record. If I'm 5-0 and you're 4-1, I don't care if you went out there and beat the best team in the whole wide league. If my record's better than yours, hey, damn it, I'm in there. Can't nobody kick me out. My record's strong enough. I'm in there. I hate college. I hate it because it's all about interpretation, right? You can have an unranked team get kicked out by a ranked but lost team. It's like record really doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot, right?
And Jay, I mean, that's kind of what they were getting away from. Because, I mean, remember, before the college football playoffs, it was just practically based on your ranking. Right. If you had a great record, if you were, 12-0 or whatever the schedule was, you were up in there at the top. No matter who you played for the most part. And, as for TCU, I think we're on agreement here. They're ordering some black and red jerseys as a little side gig, hoping that Georgia can win that SEC championship game.
Oh, man.
Because like you said, if Georgia wins, TCU, I believe, will make it in as long as they keep playing the way they've been. But if LSU defeats Georgia, I think they're going to have to put LSU in, like Chris said, just because of the games that they've won this year and just how good they've looked. So I think if you're TCU, you better pray that Georgia can get things done and kind of reverse what they did last year and win the SEC championship this time.
You know what, Gonzo? I think I have a solution. Let me ask you this. This is what I think should happen, right? I think college football needs to bring a play-in. And I don't mean like 5 or 6 other teams. What I'm saying is, in situations like this, where TCU has a valid candidacy for that number 4 spot, in my opinion, because of record more than LSU does. I don't give a damn if they get the SEC championship or not. What I think should happen is they should have a play-in. And if you're going to kick me out and I'm undefeated, there needs to be a play-in at that 5 and 4 spot, and whoever wins that son of a bitch earn the right to be in the playoffs. Just to quiet all the notions out there. What do you guys think about that?
Well, they're getting ready to expand the playoffs. So Well,
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Won't have to worry about it as much because they're getting ready to go to, I think, to 12 teams.
Was it 12? I still think 12 is way too much. Just a quick cipher.
I thought 8.
Come on.
I thought 8 would be good.
8 would have been perfect. 8 would have been perfect. 4, I don't think is enough. 6, 8, you can double it and still get all the good results, I think. Because, I mean, if you look right now, for the most part, the top 8 teams are the top 8. You know, they look like top 8 teams. And that would be a good fight. But when they go to 12, I mean, obviously we're going to get some big upsets, of course. That's what they're hoping for. But also, guys, we might see some major blowouts. And I don't want that in the playoffs. I mean, you see it in every other sport, and now it's going to happen in college football, you would think.
Yeah. I just think, let me ask you this. I think 6 to 8 is the right amount. Let me ask you guys, if you had to look at the way the season is currently right now, 1 through 8, out of 5, does 6, 7, and 8 really look impressive this year to matter? I mean, I don't think they do.
USC's been pretty good at 6. They're at 6. They've been pretty good this year. They've looked pretty good this year. Their defense isn't the greatest, but they're real good offensively.
Right. I'm okay with 8 because I think you can make 1 or 2, like you said, SC things like that in there, right? And that's fine. And I think if you have a TCU that kids kicked out at 5, you got a USC sitting out there at 6. You know, I mean, that's 6 very close game. I don't want to see it where you get a team that's in the rankings high, but necessarily is going to get blown out. Don't give me the blowout games. Give me 8 competitive teams. That's what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm the same way with that, Jack.
Well, I should say once you get past 8, I think you don't have the competitive games. We shall see. We shall see.
I mean, hell, because sometimes we still see blowouts when there's just 4 teams.
Well, that's true. I mean, and it's not that anybody can't have a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what's the likelihood of a blowout between.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying is, the more you expand it, you're going to see more of those games.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I'm on point. I misunderstood you, but yeah, I'm on point with what you're saying. Yeah, you're right because again, defenses probably are not going to be as great. Offenses could be offensive heavy, but defensively weak. I mean, I think you just kind of it's probably trying to play a 20-man fantasy football. The talent is depleted when you get past like around 10. But all right, man. Hey, we're gonna roll this bad boy. The next one, man. We talked about Corum had gotten hurt. We know that Hooker got hurt. I didn't catch how bad Corum's injury was for the Michigan. Is he still able to come back, or is he done for the season?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Give me a second. I'll look.
Gonzo, the sports reporter, checking it out.
Yeah,
Chris, while you look that up, I'll just speak briefly on it. This is going to hurt Michigan if he's out for the rest of the year, big time, because he is their main offensive weapon. So if you lose him, I kind of equate it to how the Titans lost Derrick Henry last year. I mean, that offense just had trouble starting.
Yeah. He said LSU will lose to UGA. So they drop a spot. USC has to beat Oregon to get the top spot because between Michigan and OSU, whoever loses will get. You're right, because that goes up to Anthony Price was asked. He was saying if Michigan beat Ohio, that Ohio would still be in the playoffs, and that ain't gonna happen. No freaking way in hell. If Ohio loses, they're out. They're done. Sayonara. See you later. Wow. And then I think it would be probably Georgia, LSU. Well, I would think Georgia, LSU, Michigan, and TCU. That would probably be your top 4 if the Ohio was to lose that game.
Yeah, I think Georgia's got a pretty good straightforward path. Even if they lose one, they're still in.
A one-loss Ohio State team might get in before LSU with 2 losses.
Maybe just because they like to put as many different conferences as they can in there.
TCU still has to win their champ. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No, TCU has to win out, period. John Suggs, I agree. TCU, if they don't win out, they're not going to be in the top 4. They have to be undefeated in order to stay in that top 4. Believe me, I totally agree with you. Didn't Cincinnati get blowed out? I think they did get blowed out last year. I'm not saying they can't have blowout.
They faced Alabama, and I think we all pretty much thought that maybe not by I forget the score, but I mean, it was pretty much 99% of us thought Alabama was going to win that one because it's a top-ranked SEC team against Cincinnati who, they were the Cinderella team.
I will tell you right now, man, anybody that thinks a team cannot be beat, y'all need to really start reevaluating, man. If you don't think the LSU can beat Georgia, I think they have the opportunity to beat Georgia. Do I think they'll win? No. Most likely Georgia has, the higher percentage. But don't think that an underdog upset for Georgia can't happen. Trust me, it can happen. All you need is a quarterback to get hurt or one thing to go left on you, and things can go the other way. Trust me.
God, on Blake Corum, from what I'm reading, is that Jim Harbaugh is not giving no updates on the running back's injury, so they're going to keep it close to the vest until game time. But from what I've read it that. People think that he's probably going to play, but
you got to think if a man keeps it close to the vest, I mean, our common sense will dictate that he's definitely not out, or he's not even close to being out, because they would have came out and put him on the out list if that was the case. So there must be some. Yeah,
I know.
Well, good. That's bad. I he's not too bad then.
I know it was a knee injury, and he came. It happened right before halftime. He came back out after halftime. Tried to play one series and then never came back in the game last weekend. So,
a lot of people can say that about TCU. One thing I know about TCU, though, Tony, is they don't quit. I'm not saying they're going to win. I don't think if they lose, I think they lose, but I don't think they get blown out. TCU got a lot of pride in that football program. I don't think that's going to happen. But, hey, Tennessee got blown out by South Carolina. It is what it is. Like I said, any given Sunday, anything can go left, anything can go right. There's no definite answers. Thoughts on the next Auburn head coach? If they beat Bama, you kept it interim and become head coach, or you go after, say, Tulane's head coach. He has turned every dumpster fire around everywhere he has been. And that's a good point.
Rumor is Kiffin's going to Auburn.
All right. Well, we'll see how that plays out. It's been rumored. There's nothing confirmed yet, but there have been conflicting reports. Kiffin, he kind of came out and dismissed it, obviously, because why would he say I'm going there while he's coaching a team currently? That's just not good business. Yeah. But to answer your question, I mean, Auburn, I think, just needs a complete overhaul. Obviously, their past few head coaches haven't worked out. Brian Harsin being the latest victim. I mean, God, how much money are they paying these former head coaches now who are no longer on the payroll, right? Who are no longer coaching on the sidelines? I mean, since they because I believe they fired Gus Malzahn, they have had trouble since then.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, man, for sure. All right, man. We're going to jump real quick into some NFL action. The Eagles versus the Colts, real quick, 17-16. Close game, man. Hey, given the fact that Saturday's your head coach, and of course, like I said earlier, Sirianni, however you say that, head coach for the Eagles, he was happy that he thought, hey, look at the Colts. You fire Reich, which is my mentor, and now I beat you. Whatever. It is what it is. They got the win. That's all that mattered. So, hey, but Colts put up a hell of a shot, man. I mean, honestly, I knew they would play them good, but to lose only by a point, I mean, if you watch that game, it was neck and neck, man. I mean, at one point, the Colts had the lead. Then it went back and forth. They got it at the end. Hey, it is what it is. Good job on them. But again, hats off to Saturday. Hats off to the Colts organization. They did put up a really tough fight against the Eagles. Ryan, no turnovers, but you got 4 sacks. So that's a good thing. He didn't turn the ball over. Hey, you can build on that. Easily, the Eagles leading roster gave them 86 yards and a touchdown? leading rusher. I'm sorry, the Eagles' leading rusher gave you 16 for 86 total yards rushing and a touchdown. He went 18 to 25, I believe, for 190 yards passing and a touchdown. So hey, he had a pretty good game. Again, when it comes to Hurts, man, I always think he's gonna have he's like if he doesn't get MVP this year, he's making a damn good case for it. I'll put it that way. I think, but I do think in that game, I thought the Colts were pretty good. And I think, like I said before, if they had the right head coach at the helm, maybe it's Saturday, maybe it's not. But all they got to do is find that wide receiver one, maybe a little bit of improvement to the offensive line, and that team could be pretty deadly. Gonzo, that's your team. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, our problem with the Colts has been the offensive line. Colts led that whole game other than the last minute and 55 seconds or something like that.
Right.
We've been playing better. Last two games with Saturday, we've played better. I thought it was kind of laughable that Sirianni wanted to kind of clap at the Colts when, dude, if you're going to clap, you should come in and beat the hell out of somebody, not escape with the 1-point victory in a game that your team should have lost. Colts made a couple mistakes, missed a field goal that cost us, and had first and goal a couple times and had to settle for field goals. So, I mean, that game could have easily been a whole lot different, and the Colts win by 10 points instead of losing by 1. But,
absolutely.
I like the way the Colts are competing with Saturday. It looks like a totally new attitude. Looks like he's a little bit of fire under that team, and we'll see what they look like against the Steelers this Monday night on Monday Night Football.
Woo! Especially how I thought, and again, the Steelers put up a pretty good showing against Cincinnati. Honestly, not
the
bad
Steelers
at
have
all.
pretty good defense. They have pretty good defense. They're not the best offensively, but especially
you get
they got TJ Watt back. They got TJ Watt back, and when they have him back, their defense is totally different.
Yeah, no, I believe me. I agree with you. I'm just saying, you get the Steelers a decent quarterback or a good quarterback, and that team's right back in it. Honestly, the defense is there. They just got to get a quarterback that can actually get this team to the promised land. You know what I mean?
But with the Colts, the main thing is our offensive line. Our offensive line has to improve, keep improving. That's what's let us down this year a lot. We got a top 10 defense, but if you can't score more than 15, 16 points a game, it don't matter how good your defense is.
Oh, yeah. No, hey, again, I definitely agree with you. And John Suggs, we're going to talk about him in just a sec, but I understand where you're going with that conversation as well. Logan, question, man.
Yep.
Was this just a hellified effort by the Colts or just a bad day at the office for the Eagles?
Like Chris said, since Saturday has taken over as head coach, they've been playing with more tenacity. They've been looking a lot better. They look more motivated. And as for the Eagles, I mean, they didn't look good. They didn't play their sharpest game. After the loss to Washington, that might have hurt them a little bit. And I thought they might have came out a little bit. I thought they should have came out a little bit more aggressive and whatnot. But like you said, in the end, they still got the win, though, and that's still big for them. And going back to what you said about Jalen Hurts in the beginning, Jay, about potential MVP, I think people forget that at the beginning or even prior to the beginning of the season, everyone was saying this was a make or break year for him. That if he doesn't lead the Eagles to a good record or whatnot, that he needs to be gone. Well, I think through 11, 12 weeks, he's done a good job at silencing that. That he is a good quarterback for this team. Obviously everyone's going to have a game that they struggle, but we know that Philly's a good team that has, obviously not everything's perfect, but they still look like a really good team. And like I said, close win, but a win's a win for them, and they'll take it. As for the Colts, like I said, they have been playing better these last couple of weeks, so I like what I see from them.
And that's the thing, right? I mean, with the Colts. Or I know John Suggs says the 3 issues with the Eagles is their run defense, and he said the 3 things that the weakness is the run game, and if a team can get on top first. So yeah, I mean I understand what you're saying. They did bring in Nadam Kinsu to kind of help out with that run defense, and I thought he did a pretty good job. So I think the Eagles are going to be okay when it comes to that run defense. But I understand also what you're saying. Hey, look, Cowboys have problems with their run defense too. So I mean, I don't really have a lot of room to talk, but I think the run defense for the Eagles, I don't think is too bad. I was just looking at one thing real quick, and then we're about to move on. In terms of that, the Eagles, what you were talking about. So when you look at the run defense, now, because I always look at it like this, when you go up against a guy like Jonathan Taylor, that's going to tell you where your run defense is. And then when you look at what Taylor produced, he produced 22 carries, 84 yards, which gives you 3.8 yards per carry. When you look at the whole team as a whole, the Eagles only gave you 99 yards of rushing. 99 yards of rushing, and that was on 26 attempts, which gives you 3.8 yards. So, I don't know, John Suggs. I think the coach did I think the Eagles did all right. They lost. I mean, they won by barely, but they did okay against that run. Trust me. That's against one of the better running teams. Real quick. So, Raiders beat
real quick. I think the Eagles are maybe the third best team in the NFC right now.
Who's your first two?
San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. He did say Dallas Cowboys, so I'm not going to shoot him. I'm not going to find him.
It's on the record, Jay.
I'm not going to talk to J. Edgar Hoover if I can dig him up. Get the CIA involved. I don't know. We'll track him down. We'll figure it out. No, I'm kidding. My God, I'm kidding. He said, John Suggs, I don't know what you're agreeing with Gonzo for. You agree with everybody. God dang it.
He's a people pleaser, Jay.
We're going to talk about Justin Fields, too. Matter of fact, let's just go on how to get into that one about Justin Fields. Justin Fields' increased workload. They are saying it's wearing him down. He's gone in the last 6 games. He's given you 108. I believe it's 108. No, excuse me. It's been 18. That's what it was. My handwriting is terrible. He's been averaging 18 attempts of rushing a game the last 6 on top of his workload as a quarterback. Now, he's been seen holding his shoulder. He's been seen holding his ankle. They're saying that he's having now hamstring issues. Hey, look, I'm just telling you. The last time I heard guys that were complaining this bad, it was RG3, and where's RG3 at this point in time? Hey, Bears, do with that information as you will, but I think you're going to run this Justin Fields into the dirt before you see anything productive out of his ass. That's just my opinion. Gonzo, what do you think about the workload of Fields, the injuries he's taken on? He's only in his 2nd year, but I mean, like, what do you see longevity-wise for him?
I think he'll be all right if the Chicago Bears get an offensive line that can block for him. A lot of the times it's not design runs. He's running for his life to try not to get sacked, or he's running because nobody's open. I think if they get that offensive line fixed, I think Fields is going to end up being a real good quarterback for him. But they better do it quick because a couple more years like this, he's going to be a guy like Andrew Luck and be turning his pads in early.
Right. No doubt about it. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Logan, man, what'd you think about the whole Fields thing? I mean, can this guy last with the amount of rushing attempts that they're putting him through?
I hope so, man. He's a good kid. After the loss against the Falcons, he was talking to the locker room, I heard, and he was apologizing for his efforts, but the defense basically stood up and said, hey, that's on us, No line, they were saying, that's on us, that's not on you. I mean, for a guy in his 2nd year, that shows a lot of just, leadership, thinking that, he might have been, obviously they didn't get the win, but saying that about himself shows humility and shows that he's humble, which is something rare nowadays. But like Chris said, this guy is the whole Bears offense. I mean, there's no one else really out there for him. If he's not getting it done, throwing it to the receivers they have, he's running for his life every other play.
Well, and that's my point. I mean, hey, regardless of whether it's his attempts at rushing or plays that break down that he's trying to make something happen on, or whether it's play calling, or like Rob Scott says, terrible offensive line. What do you expect her to do?
Right.
No, I'm not saying that. I agree with that. That's my point. My point is with what's being asked of him currently with the way the situation is, you got to imagine that's got to wear down his career. When I say wear down his career, is I'm saying the length of his career, right? I mean, how many years can you stretch this guy out?
I mean, if you look at just some of the guys who are a little bit older in the league, I mean, let's look at the Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady's, the Matt Ryans even. I mean, the reason that they've been in the league for so long, besides obviously, great play, is they haven't had to run for their lives most of the time for a good bit of their careers. They've had either both of these, which is good O-lines and good offensive weapons, or one of either. So far in 2 seasons, Fields hasn't had either of those. And if you're the Bears, you got to do something, man, or else you're going to get your franchise quarterback that is supposed to turn this team around. I mean, he might be a commentator in a few years if you don't get it flipped for him, and I hope they do, because I mean, this is the this is the best chance they've had at having a good quarterback in quite some time.
No doubt, man. Hey, and another question I had, hey, Gonzo, look, these Chiefs, man. Yeah, I know Logan had mentioned that a minute ago that Kelsey got 3 touchdowns and had an amazing day, but what about the guys that we don't necessarily talk about? And look what they did yesterday. You got the running back Pacheco that gives you 15 carries, 107 yards, and then you had Sky Moore give you 5 catches for 63 yards. I mean, look at these other guys. I mean, I think the Chiefs now are starting to get these outside contributions, although Frankie was a little mad that Scantling got bupkis. But it is what it is, Frankie. Get over it. But you know what I'm saying? Like now you're starting to see this next crop of guys for the Chiefs rise up.
Yeah, they are starting to rise up. Even Smith-Schuster's starting to have a pretty big role in that offense for them. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it up going in through the playoffs. But Kelsey's the number one, and he's been unstoppable the last 2 or 3 games.
And Jay, I think I feel confident saying this, and I don't think it's too far of an outside statement. But right now, the Kansas City Chiefs kind of feel like the San Antonio Spurs of like the 2000s and 2010s in terms of just how good they can develop players. I mean, you mentioned just, all these other guys, the ones you don't speak about too much. They do their role good, and they can help out. I mean, that's why the Chiefs have been one of the best teams in football the last, 5+ years. They're always winning. They're always winning in the West, to my chagrin. But, I mean, they get it done. No matter who's there. No matter the roster, how many players leave, retire, get traded, whatever. They can always fill that hole, and they always do a good job at it.
Real quick, before I get to Rob Scott, John Suggs says, Chiefs beat the Chargers. I'm sorry. Beat West Coast team. I think he meant to say the best West Coast team is the 49ers. I don't know, man. You guys think the 49ers are the best West Coast team? I mean, and when I guess I'm going to use the Seattle Seahawks. I guess that would really be their competition, right? Because we know the Rams don't mean anything. So really, I guess you'd be looking. I guess he's talking morally about the Rams and the Seahawks when he's talking about this. What do you guys think? Are the 49ers the best West Coast team?
I believe so. I think they're right there as top 2 team in the NFC.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, the Seahawks have had a tremendous season that none of us expected. But I think that we're kind of seeing now with the 49ers, they're getting into their groove. And, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, Jimmy G's looking good again. If I'm Trey Lance, I'm a little bit worried.
Hey, I just want to say, Gonzo, I think it literally I just had a light bulb moment about a comment you made a few seconds ago that I don't think it really hit at first, but now it just hit. And I just wanted to tell you, touche. Well played, sir. Well played. I see what you did there. You said the 40, and when we talked about the top 2 best teams in your eyes, the first thing that came out of your mouth was 49ers. You did that to get my blood pumping, but then you followed it with the Cowboys in there just to kind of bring me back down. Well played. Hey, I'm just saying, well played.
Hey, and also, Jay, don't think I didn't hear you say the word Raiders earlier. What did I say last week on the show? We're going on the road to the bowl, baby. Undefeated rest of the way. That's all I'm gonna say.
All I know is two things. Number one, I saw on Facebook the best picture ever, and it was basically Michael Irvin with the cowboy hat on, basically going ape shit crazy. And then you see Stephen A. over looking out the window at the horizon. What a time! Hey, I'm just saying, man.
Beautiful.
It made my day, man. It made my day. I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. All right, man. Hey, look. Last thing I think I had on my notes that I wanted to talk about was that Raiders game. Logan, Raiders obviously got the win over. They got the win over the Broncos. Good job. My question is Hackett, should he be on the hot seat, or is he on the hot seat? Or are they looking at it differently now? And you lost to the Raiders. You're not your team. The Broncos aren't looking good. Where is he sitting?
Well, Jay, we saw that he handed over the offensive play calling before the game, and that didn't work. Yeah. They currently have the worst, if not, or one of, if not the worst, contracts in the NFL quarterback position with how poor Russell Wilson's played this year. I mean, their O-line ain't doing much. Defense is okay. Their offense is inconsistent. Jerry Jeudy, unfortunately for my fantasy team and for just him, he gets hurt pretty often so far. I mean, they just can't get nothing going, Jay. They just released Melvin Gordon, who had, I think 5 fumbles in 10 games this year.
Right.
What was his name? Carter, I think, right? Who got hurt. That was going to be one of their bright spots at running back, but he's not playing right now.
It was. I do remember. Yes.
He did.
Bumped up Melvin Gordon's carries, and that's when I think fumbling started becoming more and more noticeable, which obviously was what led to his downfall.
Right, and I liked. I think Carter. I forget his last name, but he was good last year. And unfortunately, like I say, he got hurt. And Russell, I don't know what's going on with Russell Wilson, guys, but he ain't looking good. He's not looking so bright. But when's the win, baby?
Yeah, who do you blame, though? Like Rob Scott's asking, who do you blame? Are you blaming Wilson or are you blaming Hackett? Who are we blaming here?
I got a 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, Hackett being not the best coach, obviously, and there's been some game time decisions late in the game where something might have went wrong. He might have fumbled it somewhere. But I mean, Wilson hasn't played that good either. I feel like you got to put some of the responsibility on him. He's your franchise quarterback. You put all this money into him, and you're not getting any results.
Now, here's the question, Gonzo. Let me ask you this, man. John Suggs says, no, he is not on a hot seat. They would give him another year. They probably will give him another year because they have to, right? Because if they don't, then when the Texas let go of Dan Scully, and you saw all the backlash that Texas went through, I don't think the Denver Broncos want to go through that. So let's just be honest. Does he get another year? Yes. Do you think the Denver Broncos really want to give him another year? Probably not. I think politically they have to give him another year so they don't look like the bad guys in it. But I think everybody at the dinner table, and I'm going to speak for Unscripted, and if I'm speaking wrong, shoot me or tell me differently or speak up. But Hackett didn't deserve that damn job in the first place. They gave that shit to him to bring in Aaron Rodgers. He didn't bring in Aaron Rodgers. He got Russell Wilson, which is still a pretty damn good quarterback, and you look like and you're soft as Charmin. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? What do you think about Hackett? Like, really? Do you think that they're going to hold him to another year because politically they probably have to? Or do they want to really hold on to him for another year?
I mean, hey, the Broncos have had some issues with head coaching over the years, man. I mean, it ain't been a nice ride over there either. And, I mean, personally, if it was BJ, I like to have shorter leashes on head coaches because you don't get the job done. Why would you be on the team? If it was up to me, Jay, I'd have Hackett and Josh McDaniels at the drive-thru at my local McDonald's at the moment, but that's just me.
Oh, I like Bieniemy too. The knock on Bieniemy for me is his ability to relate to players. If you can't relate to your players, or if you can't form chemistry with your players, that really hurts you. I don't care how good of a coordinator you may be. if you can't do the social game and get the most out of your players, which is what they should be doing, then I don't know how far you really go. And that was the biggest knock on Bieniemy, is just his inability to relate to the players. Honestly, do you guys see that any differently than I do, or?
No, I don't see it.
I feel like he should still have, he should be going somewhere, but I don't know, man. That's what it was. He says this Bill.
Oh,
now talking about
relating. Hey, look, John Suggs, you're bringing in Belichick for crying out loud. Come on now, come on.
Hey, I don't care if he can relate to my players at all. He wins.
Truthfully, John Suggs, if you want to go back to the dawn of time, like I said to you a million times ago, does outside of the post Brady era, where does Bill Belichick rank? Is he sub or above 500 in career games? And if you can answer that, and if you say he's above 500, we come back and talk later. But again, it's still Bill Belichick. He does require respect because of the 6 rings that he has. So for you to say Bieniemy versus Bill Belichick, well, that's like night and day. How do you compare a Hall of Fame coach to a coordinator that has player issues, who hasn't even won anything?
Been a head coach. You don't. You can't. Simple as that, you can't.
That's a hard comparison. I wish you would have chose a different coach other than Bill Belichick. Maybe come at me with like Jason Garrett. Oh, I'll be all over that shit.
Oh God.
I can't stand.
I haven't heard that name in years, Jay. I know you tried to lock it away somewhere with all the stuff he pulled.
Hey, Logan, you talk about a coach that should have been fired long ago. Yeah, that's Jason Garrett. Great coordinator, terrible head coach. I'm just saying. Whatever. What it is.
Ron Rivera.
Damn.
Ooh.
Yeah, Ron Rivera would have been a better one to choose, honestly, at that point.
That's a better option than Belichick, I feel. I like that one.
People always want to discredit Bill. Trust me, he played a huge part in the Patriots winning those. Look, nobody discrediting Rob Scott. Nobody discrediting. We're just trying to tell you Bill Belichick is a sub-500 coach without Tom Brady. Go look at the damn numbers and come back to me, my beautiful sir.
The numbers don't lie, and they sold exactly for you at sacrifice.
Sorry, if you ain't got the numbers, you ain't got the right to call it.
Pete Carroll.
Carroll. That's another one.
That's a good one. We're getting better now. We started off way off, and now we're getting better.
I like old Pete too, but I like
Pete Carroll.
But I love her. Oh, man. All right. Hey, look, let's get this show moving along, man. Hey, let's talk some Brown University recruits. First female athlete to play Division I baseball. Now, Logan, at this point in time, I may ruffle feathers. I may not ruffle feathers. We shall see.
And before you say anything, Jay, let me just say that the thoughts of Jay McLovin is his own. Got to throw that one out there, buddy.
No. Hey, listen, I should have had the ticker for that, but that's okay. Good job.
We're here for it.
Hey, first off, congrats from Unscripted to Miss Olivia Pichardo. Hey, it's a hell of a feature. It's a hell of a thing. Number one, when you can make it onto the roster with any university men's baseball team as a female, because that means you're the first one to ever do it. And somebody got to pioneer it. We just had our first NCAA Division I female football player. Now we got our first female Division I baseball player. So, again, hey, these are good things for females, but I want to draw your attention. She's not the only one, folks. There's 20 other women out there that we know of that they have interviews with that have played collegiate style baseball at that level. Now, they have not got their contracts yet, but supposedly 8 of those 20 are scheduled to be on a roster by the 2023 season. What a time to be alive. But my question is this. Now, real quick, I got to give you a little background before I give you my what I'm going to say. To be fair to Miss Pichardo, She played on USA women's baseball team in 2022 as a right-handed pitcher and outfielder. She interned with the New York Mets amateur scouting department. So, she's got some well-roundedness to her. But has she played Division I baseball ever? No. My only question to it is this, is when women start to get into these fields, which is great, which is phenomenal, which I fully 100% endorse, getting gender diversity or gender equality into sports is phenomenal. That's what we care about. My problem with this, my only one problem with all of this is the fact that they bumped her up straight to varsity off of a tryout. I feel like she should have been, and no knock against her. Again, the head coach, Grant Achilles, said that at her workout when she came in and she walked, because she's a walk-on. When she came in as a walk-on, they said she had great athleticism and that she had a great arm. Well, she should have a great arm. She was a pitcher, and she did play outfield. Now, they plan to use her as a utility person, probably outfield, maybe infield, maybe they designate hit her. So they plan to use her, I guess, place. But my question to you, Logan, is this. And again, according to nonprofit Baseball for All, whose goal is to build gender equality in baseball, again, we fully support that at Unscripted. I want to make sure everybody understands that. We fully support it. And I think, to back what I'm about to say up, because I want to make sure everybody understands this, I believe you have to work your way through the system. You start out as a freshman baseball, and you work your way up the ranks. That way, number one, you get the experience. You're not set up for failure, because what's going to happen is, my worst fear is that she goes straight from a tryout out of high school or whatever it was she came from beyond that, and they throw her straight into the varsity level where she's not prepared for. She fails, and then it looks bad on her, and then it makes it even harder for the next female athlete to get promoted. So all I'm saying is, Olivia, I hope your parents have talked to you. I hope your coaches have talked to you. I hope you got enough people in your ear that know your attributes, that know you well enough to know that you can succeed going straight from high school into Division I varsity. I'm just saying, I hope you're. I just want her to be ready, so that way when the next female comes up, they're going to give her those same opportunities and not have it be a hindrance. Does that make sense, Logan? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Jay. And first off, let me just say congratulations, making history. Obviously, it's the first female to ever play in Division I baseball, which is, as we know, the highest level. So obviously, Jay, she's got some good skills to her. I wish her the best. I hope she has a good career at Brown University, a very prestigious school, and hopefully we can see her hitting some dingers outside the park. That's what we want to see. But Jay, I feel what you mean by saying that. She was bumped straight to varsity just off of a tryout, right? And I think that I'm not sure the reason why they did it. I feel that if she has the ability to do that, then by all means, I feel like she deserves it. I don't know how the Brown University baseball system is. I haven't heard of it outside of this topic. But I think that she should do fine. I wish her the best. But Jay, I'm kind of can I scratch my head a little bit about what's the reasoning? Did they give a reason off of just the tryout? Did she just blow everyone away?
It was basically just her arm strength and her athleticism that they basically or that's what they were promoting.
Right. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I guess Brown University. If she has this talent, if she has the tremendous arm strength, like you said, they're going to have her as a pitcher and as an outfielder throwing cannons out there. Why not look for more athletes? Like you said, there's going to be I believe 8 or 23 potential female players in Division I, something like that. So we could see a few more players in the very near future, and I'm all for it. Like I said, I wish you the best, and hopefully this isn't on the school of doing publicity and stuff like that, because nowadays schools just want to get their name out there. I hope that's not the case for this young lady here.
Hey, listen, hey, look. Sean says, "Can a man go play?" I wish he could go play softball. I was always much better at softball than I was at baseball because the ball's bigger and my eyes can see it coming to the plate. That damn baseball, man! I tell you what, my eyes are terrible. Logan, I know you got to go, man. I know you got big things planned, so I will catch you, I guess, on Tuesday, eh?
Yeah, yeah. I'm about to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. Hope you have a safe holidays. You're traveling, be safe. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. So I will see you guys then. Peace out.
All right, y'all be good, brother.
Can do.
So, yeah, man. Hey, Gonzo, man. First female, brother. Do you think it's too much for her to go straight from the high school, style of play to right into varsity at a Division I? To me, that just asks so much of her.
Yeah, I would say it probably could be. Hopefully, the school's not just doing it for PR. I'll be honest with you. To me, when we have and nothing against this girl here, but what's the point of having women's softball and having men's baseball if we're going to kind of like John saying men can't go play the others? So that's a little weird. But I risk her success, but there's a big difference in playing high school baseball and going up and playing Division I college baseball. And I actually think women's college softball can be harder in a way because they pitch from closer.
You ever seen how fast that ball comes? Man, and it doesn't do that nice arc. It just comes in like a bullet.
No, it's like a fastball, but it's closer and it's coming up instead of down. It's opposite of a baseball. I umpired it for a lot of years.
Listen, man. Hey, let me tell you what OJ played. OJ played church league. Hey, you got the ice chest with the beer at second base. Okay, great. Let's go play some ball.
Hey, I played church league before I got I started having my issues.
Hey, I don't care what anybody says. Ain't nothing better than a good church league softball game. I'm just saying. Hey, let me tell you, they drink enough wine. They drink enough wine to convert a whole colony. I'm just saying. But anyway, it's good times in the church softball league. Hey, let's move this bad boy along, man. Let's get into let's get into a little Klay Thompson. I'm back. Woo! And I hate that he did it against the Rockets. Damn it, Klay. I love you, but you did it against my team. It hurts. But let's get into it, man. Look, this dude finally really got back at it. He had 10 of 13, Gonzo, he had 10 of 13 at 3-point range. Excuse me, at 3-point range. If he goes more games like this, if he can build off of that Rockets game where he went 10 of 13 from the 3-point line, if he can build on that 30 points or 39 points that he got from back there, I mean, you got to imagine now this is going to get the Dubs, back into gear because, what does it take to get the Dubs back to where they were, right? Klay doing Klay, Steph Curry doing Steph Curry, and then Wiggins doing Wiggins, and then you throw in a slice of Draymond in there with the shit talking and a little bit of that defense and stuff. And I think that's what gets the Dubs back into doing dub-like things. And of course, Poole will jump on the bandwagon. But I think if Klay can get that 3-point at a regular interval going now, that's just going to propel this team out of that funk and back into where they were, at the beginning of at the end of last season. What's your thought process on Klay Thompson?
No, it'd be big if Klay can start being more consistent. Because if you watch the Warriors this year, it's been basically the Steph Curry show. Steph Curry's been playing his ass off. To me, Steph Curry's playing at an MVP level, but nobody's really came along with him consistently. They'd have some guys play good games here and there, but nobody consistent, especially on the road. Warriors have been terrible on the road. But if Klay could get back to shooting the ball like we know, like we're accustomed to Klay Thompson shooting the ball, yeah, it's going to get this Warriors team back out of that funk and where they're moving back up the standings because they're only like a couple spots ahead of the Lakers in the Western Conference standings, which is hard to believe. I don't think anybody would ever thought that when the season started. But they've struggled on the road. They've played well at home. But I think if Klay Thompson can be more consistent, you'll start seeing that road record start coming back to the better side.
Oh no doubt about it. And I want you to notice something, Gonzo. I'm going to take you down what I like to call the best 3 seconds of life ever. You ready for it to start? First off, when we started it out, Rob Scott was on point. Mayday, mayday, it's Clay Day, baby. And it is. It was Clay Day, baby. So let's not discount from what Clay is doing, okay? And let's not discount where Clay has been and what Clay has done. And I'm not even a Warriors fan, okay? I'm not. But I'm not going to let people talk bad about something when it clearly makes no sense to talk bad about. And this is where we get interesting. Then we go into this bullshit. I don't see how Clay is back when he got injured after the whatever game and is out right now. He's not out right now. He's still playing crazy. God, what a time to be alive. And then John Suggs says, stop it. You can say Ben Simmons is back because he had a good game. Now, normally, if John Suggs had not put laugh out loud on there, I would have thrown him into the Damian Hernandez category. But since I know he's being sarcastic, I'm going to keep John Suggs in the more respectable side of sports talk. What a time to be alive. Preach, Brother Jay. You're damn right, Bart Scott. Damn it, son of a bitch. Coming here with that Damian Hernandez craziness. John Suggs, you put LOL on it, so you're getting a pass. You put LOL, so you're getting a pass. He said I had to. Yeah, I don't blame you. Hey, look, I would too. I mean, if anybody needs a heart transplant, Ben Simmons is right there in line at the #1 candidate, and I hope he's O positive. What a time to be alive. All right, folks. Hey, Clay, is Clay back? I'm going to wait 5 games to give you that answer. But I'll tell you, that Rockets game sure was a way to get back into the groove if you're going to get back into a groove. Last topic before final thoughts. Best NBA shooters that need attention. I left out a key word, Gonzo, when you give your answer, because if you read it that way, you're going to give the wrong answer that I'm trying to get out of you. What I want is the best NBA shooters that need more attention. Okay, so the key word there is more attention. So who do you think is on an NBA squad right now that is a great shooter, but is not necessarily getting the attention that he deserves? So I'm going to give you my guy. My guy is Desmond Bane out of Memphis. We all know John Morant is creme de la creme of the Memphis Grizzlies. So you know where John Morant sits. But who on the Memphis Grizzlies is a great shooter that should be getting more attention is Desmond Bane. And if you don't think it's Desmond Bane, you're not watching basketball. Memphis had a leap year. I should say Desmond Bane had a leap year last year. I think last year we kind of saw the beginning of Desmond Bane, and this year we're seeing more of the Desmond Bane. And the guy is averaging about, I think he just got his third or fourth 30-point game. The guy can shoot. Don't look past Desmond Bane. The guy can freaking shoot. He's the second best player in Memphis behind John Morant. The only reason you don't hear a lot about Desmond Bane is because you're focusing on John Morant, and it's hard to hear it. And for good reason. John Morant is one of the best players in the NBA. So naturally, you're going to get overshadowed. He is the Pippen to Michael Jordan. 3 straight 30-point games this season. 2 seasons in the NBA. That's all he's got. He's a 43% shooter from three-point range, and he's a 47.3% from the pull-up 3. So what I mean by that is he's not just a spot-up 3 shooter. He can do the pull-up 3 as well. And matter of fact, he's actually better at the pull-up 3 than he is at the spot 3 by 4%. So again, Desmond Bane is my guy, man. Feed that man the rock. And I think if you feed him the rock more, it probably will take more wear and tear off of John Morant, feeling like he has to put the weight of the world on his shoulders. So just that's my thoughts. Gonzo, who would be your player that you feel needs more attention?
I'm going to go with
shooter.
I'm going to go with Tyrese Halliburton for the Indiana Pacers.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good call.
He's averaging over 20 points per game. He's shooting almost 40% from three-point range. And I mean, he's carried this young Pacers team that I don't think anybody would have thought that we'd be playing the way we're playing this early in the season. And he's been one of the big reasons why, him along with that rookie Mathurin.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think Tyrese Halliburton is an underrated player and shooter.
Man, that's great. Rob Scott chimes in, great show, brothers. Y'all killed it, man. I don't know if he killed it. I think he killed it. I just kind of went back and cleaned up the garbage. That's what I do. I clean up the garbage pretty well. Hey, I let the fillet in to the likes of Babyface and Gonzo over there. Those are the dogs in the fight. Thoughts on the Kings so far? Hey, that was actually my next team I was going to talk about. Just in terms of how well the Kings are doing. I mean, Gonzo, what the hell, man? Where are these Kings coming from, man? What? Because I want to look up one thing before I make a full answer. But what is your thought process on the Kings and how they're playing this year? Matter of fact, we'll just go right to the final thoughts on that one.
I'll tell you what, they're playing good. I'm surprising me a little bit. I thought they'd be better than last year, but when me and Dad we were talking earlier, and he was pulled up the standings, I was surprised how high the Kings are up in the Western Conference standings right now. I would say they're definitely ahead of schedule of what people thought they would be.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, if I had to give a name to the Sacramento Kings, I'd call them right now the silent killers. I'd call them the ninjas of the game. What's that one where that one video game where that dude's always he's like the ninja and he's trying to go out and kill people and shit, but you don't ever see him coming. There's a damn game where it's a single player, I don't know. I can't remember the name of that damn. I hate it when something comes to my brain, Gonzo, and I can't remember. But look, it's a guy, right? It's like in Saudi Arabia, and he's like Assassin's Creed. There you go. Damn it, I knew I'd get there eventually. Jesus, it's like sex. You just gotta say it long enough, and you'll get there. Yeah, man, Assassin's Creed. That's why I look at Sacramento Kings. I look at the Sacramento Kings like Assassin's Creed. Because let me ask you this: did anybody even see them creeping up the standings? I didn't see nobody. I mean, they're just creeping up the standings.
So Sabonis was, like Rob Scott said, Sabonis was a great pickup for him.
Sabonis was a huge pickup.
I hated seeing Sabonis leave the Pacers. I was a big Sabonis fan.
John says, did I see Westbrook have some or better than okay 3-point? Normally, if I thought the Pacers I'm sorry. If I thought the Lakers doing anything, I'd probably pay attention to Westbrook and percentages and this, that, and the other. But the Lakers just flat out suck. And I just don't see the Lakers doing anything to care enough about freaking Westbrook. But I also saw plenty of Westbrook when he played for the Houston Rockets, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Wizards, and everywhere else. I've been watching Westbrook. One thing about Westbrook, if he's got to have the damn ball. Westbrook's Westbrook. He ain't never going to change. He ain't never going to be anything more than what he is right now. He's got too many years in the league, and he's played too long the way he plays for him to just all of a sudden say, okay, I'm going to be a different player. I'm going to be more playmaking, assisting, and rebounding driven than I am worried about getting my shot. I don't know. I got mixed feelings about Westbrook, only because he played for the Rockets and I hated him there. The Pacers are tough. The Pacers are tough. Absolutely, man. Again, I was talking about Mathurin, and they were talking about Buddy Hield Buddy Hield now is with Sacramento, isn't he? Or is he with you?
No, Buddy Hield's with the Pacers. He's with the Pacers.
That's
too,
right.
yeah.
That's right. When they made that trade, so you got Buddy Hield, you got Halliburton. Yeah, you got. I mean, give that Pacers some time, man. They just put that team together. I mean, like Rob Scott said, man, damn, they're going to be good. Sabonis was a great pickup for the Kings. I mean, I think it worked out all the way around. Probably the best it could have worked out because the Packers y'all got some pretty good picks for Sabonis, correct? I think you got a first rounder and a second, something of that nature.
We got Buddy Hield out of that trade.
But I think you got a pick. I'm almost positive you got a pick out of that.
Yeah, I think we did too. But then we got Buddy Hield as well, and I think a pick or two.
I mean, I have to go back and really dive into to find out the pick that they got. But I know they got they got capital back for Sabonis. But what is? All right, man. We're gonna get into some final thoughts, and we're gonna get up on out of here. Before you guys go, or actually, I'll let Gonzo go first. Gonzo, man, final thoughts, man. plug your shows. But anything else out there that I didn't talk about that you could think of that I may have missed?
Final thoughts for me is everybody have a great Thanksgiving because we're not having a show Thursday, right?
No, we won't have a show until Friday, and it'll be a snippet show.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I won't be able to be on here on Friday, so everybody have a great holiday. And then got a lot of sports going on this weekend or this week. We get Thanksgiving football, 3 games on Thursday. I love that about Thanksgiving. You get 3 NFL games. And then, of course, big college football with Ohio State and Michigan. So a lot of stuff going on. So everybody have a great weekend. As far as my show, we had a great interview earlier today at 4 p.m. Eastern with Gary Emmett. He's the CEO, owner, promoter of AWR, which is a Asylum Wrestling Revolution here out of Indianapolis, Indiana. They have a big show coming up this weekend, and we had a great conversation with him. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out at Gonzo Sports Room, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Won't be having my sports betting show tomorrow because I have a doctor's appointment, but we'll be back on Thursday. Sometime Thursday, I am going to do a sports betting show real quick on Thanksgiving to do all the NFL games. Not sure exactly on the time, but check out my social media pages, YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Gonzo Sports Room, and I'll let everybody know what time on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You definitely want to tune into those shows, man. Gonzo always does a really good job on anything as concerned with wrestling or betting. The guys' shows are phenomenal. And again, don't forget Colts. Is it the Horseshoe, right? The Horseshoe Talk?
Yeah, Horseshoe Talk.
Yeah,
next episode of Horseshoe Talk is actually going to be Monday night. We're going to do a live watch along in reaction to the Colts and the Steelers game Monday night.
Oh, snap. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, for me, man, hey, last thing I just wanted to point out, man, hey, Embiid, I hope you get better, man. You know, Embiid's going to be out 2 games. Look like he's got a foot issue. 76ers are really going through a funk right now. And that's another team, I think, that just doesn't know quite who they are. I think the 76ers are still trying to figure out exactly what this team is and how to go forward. But, of course, you can't do that when your number one guy is dealing with injuries. And, again, man, Sabonis, I hope you get back quick, man, because I hate to see a good player not on the court doing what he loves to do, because I know what that means to somebody that really enjoys what they do. And I know you do, brother. So, thoughts and prayers go out to you, and hopefully you have a fast, speedy recovery. All right, man. Yeah, like Gonzo said, man, happy Thanksgiving from Unscripted and all of our peeps that are out there. They all would say the same thing. Do you guys enjoy your food? Enjoy your alcohol? Have a good time, but make sure you call Uber or you have a designated driver or you use Lyft. I don't care what you use. Just use something other than yourself to get yourself home if you've been drinking, because it's just not worth it to go through that experience. And we obviously don't want anybody to lose their lives. And obviously that's the thing with drinking and driving, right?
Yep. Don't want to, if you're going to drink, don't drive.
You never know whose life who might be impacting. So keep that in mind. All right, folks. Hey, man, it's your boy Jay McLovin trying to figure out a computer that never loved him anyway, almost like his wife, but whatever, it is what it is. Hey, you guys have a good Thanksgiving. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you Friday, most likely 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just for a quick 30-minute show, which we will focus on primarily college games coming up for Saturday and a couple of games, NFL games on Sunday. A couple of games here, a couple of games there, 10, 15 minutes worth. We get you guys out the door. Y'all have a good day. It's your boy Jay. It's your boy Gonzo. We have Babyface on here, Logan Landers, and we will see you guys next time. We out.